Hello, sport fans. Of course, it's nice to have you again on the Banter Bench podcast show. Of course, I promise this to be another interesting time out here with you guys. My name is Alegbede Jacob Sport, and I'm not here to do this alone. I'm here with Chukwu Emeka. And of course, Mr. Bayo Adegbega is unavoidably unavailable at the moment because of some certain reasons. And of course, it promises to be definitely another interesting time out with you guys on the show. Chukwu Emeka, nice to have you again here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Let's talk sports. Interesting weekend. Brilliant performance from the top boys. Although my team hasn't been really brilliant. During that game against Leeds, but let's keep enjoying football and most especially the Premier League.
Of course, talking about not being so brilliant in the English Premier League recently. Of course, in Chelsea Football Club drew against Leeds United. I mean, the first leg, Chelsea lost 3-1, I think. So and now going back to Stamford Bridge, unfortunately for them, they were unable to get the maximum 3 point as well. Leeds coming from 2 goals down to get what's it called a 2-2 draw there in Stamford Bridge. Of course, before we go into the title race conversation and also relegation race conversation, talking about Chelsea. What did you make of the game between them and Leeds United? That lack of inconsistency. That lack of consistency. I mean, from Chelsea, we saw it against Leeds United again. After defeating, I think it's West Ham they defeated last time, right?
West Ham, yeah.
Coming from 2 goals down, to defeat and what was it called? To defeat and West Ham United. And so coming into this game again, we are now seeing that traces of that inconsistency again in them again. What can you make of that?
Actually, I wouldn't blame the manager, for that particular draw. He had everything right. He did everything right according to what we saw. The changes he made. The starting 11 was brilliant. Playing your best men. Likes of Kopama, Enzo Fernandez, Estavao. I believe he did everything right, but it boils down to the players. The players, this inconsistency. Always been on serious. Even when you were leading comfortably, where you were winning. At least they lead 2-0. You suppose don't seal the job was already done. So because Kopama scored that penalty, I think the 50th minute. So I expected them to just seal the job. It shows you how inconsistent their Chelsea team can be. The defense is not. They don't have capable players there. Caicedo causing us making a silly challenge in the penalty in the penalty box. So I think I wouldn't blame the manager for the draw. I think it boils down to the player. Most times, this footballer should also take the blame. Kopama missing a sitter. An empty net. So I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't blame the manager. The players are to be blamed.
So you feel the guy did not show a lot of grit and a lot of
yes. Now, how would you be leading 2-0? You're leading 2-0 within how many minutes? It's within 20 minutes. He's got the 2 goals back.
Well, I mean, Joko Emeka said no even know I want to express himself finish concerning this matter.
Not even how I want to express myself because the thing actually did surprising.
Yes, no, I same thing with you. You say matter don't reach here for you. No go know how you go talk. You say no go know how you want to.
Exactly, it did very shocking. So me, I don't go blame the manager. Left to me now, the players I go blame. If you say Kopama scored that good there, at least we go even come up with the maximum point. Missing that crucial chance. During the end of the game, when game 1 ends, now you miss that kind of sitter. So me, I don't go even blame the manager. The players are to be blamed. Brilliant one from Liam. I know he was disappointed with his players, but we keep going, we keep fighting. At least now they don't know what thing they do the team. They don't know say on their back line they always get problem. Change your defenders. At least we need better world-class experienced defenders. Not be all those average players. They play Achipong. Achipong was so horrible against Leeds. Horrible game. So I know say the board they watch this particular game. They know say they need spectacular players. We need backups. We need good backups. They play Achipong and Chalupa. Okay, imagine say Calvert-Lewin even play that game. Imagine say Lewin play that game. Waiting for his our IC. So we move on with 1 point. I hope say they go do waiting day right.
You don't hear from Chukwuemeka. Can you say Chelsea players no show the right mentality and they no show enough grit, for that particular game against Leeds United? Say the coach do his own job, he did the needful, but the players now let the coach down, so you understand, and they also let themselves down, so you understand, for that particular game, so you get. So he said if hopefully they can pick themselves up and dust themselves up for the next what was it called, challenge ahead. Still talking about Chelsea. Um, what can you make of Chelsea defense? We've been emphasizing on that over and over again. And also the front line as well. So you understand, and
Yeah, I don't think there's any problem with the front line. At least Joao
you think
Pedro has been proving himself. He scored for 4 goals in 5 games. That's a brilliant performance from your top nine. You wouldn't rate that as an average performance. It boils down to the defensive, to the back line, to the defenders. When you're meant to be serious, what was their duty in that particular team? Is to defend, not play ball, defend. You know, we needed them at that particular time. We needed them, just calm the whole team, be organized. You saw the last this goal scored by Okafor. See this very, very,
very silly
very
goal,
silly goal,
very very.
for matching point. I think Caicedo was at some point was standing looking.
But Chukwuemeka,
Building up to that goal too. If we are going to check the officiating of that game, the goal I think what's this boy?
the goal should have been disallowed.
Yeah, I think it
But
should
it
have
was
been
an accidental handball. I
would
watched
you
the game
call
as
that?
well.
Would you call
It was
that?
accidental.
FIFA rule. The rule on board now. Any goal
I
that
knew the
leads
coach of Chelsea also what was it called, he lamented
any
the
ball that
position of
leads
this
to
as
the
well.
goal that
He did lament about this.
that touches any player hand shouldn't count. It shouldn't count. That it boils down to Premier League officiating. Very wrong officiating, but we move on regardless. We were supposed to win that game comfortably. We dominated the game. Now we
Well,
dominated the game
don't be lying.
from the beginning of the game to the ending of the game. Luck no just there our side. I could put them that way. Luck no just there our side that day, and our silly defending. Even Kopama before second half sef, before the game, as the game even start, see as Kopama dey play like say he no get bone for him body. He miss one, he see one-on-one wey he miss with him left leg.
No game ball for him, but now he scored it for the last match.
No be penalty. How many only he don
But
score 5 goals
person
since he
no
come
get
back.
ball for body, no fit score penalty.
No be penalty, no be you and keeper dey, no be you and keeper dey face una sef. One-on-one
You
dis
go
thing.
Emeka, just wan make you dey talk another thing here.
Abeg,
Why,
thing
it is-
just tire person now.
Yeah, it is well.
We suppose dey follow now. Liverpool don win. They don dey follow us now. Be like say na 1 point.
No be small
We
follow.
dey use the top dem.
Chai.
Shey you get? Man you also sef draw. Silly result, but that shows you how intense the Premier League is. You no fit look down on anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you
The
think
small boys would always come at you.
do you think Chelsea, considering how Chelsea defense has been lately, so you understand how terrible the defense has been? Do you think Chelsea should have cashed out a big what was it called?
Leeds.
Chelsea should have what was it called? Go to transfer market to get a player like even Gay. We saw what Gay is doing for Manchester City presently.
Before we started this program, I always emphasize on getting the right defenders, getting a world-class defender. We know we have average bunch of players. You can't even point any defender.
A commanding defender like that.
I'm talking about the central back.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about the
wing back.
The wing back. I'm not talking about
a commanding center back that can
the 6
command
and 5.
that can
You don't have a
that can take up responsibility.
Exactly. Thiago was there. Thiago obviously left.
And that boy is still there till now.
Yes, now he's missing. You
do you think Chelsea should have what was it called? Going to transfer market to
strengthen their defense, strengthen their central defenders. You have Bashashile, you have Achimpong, you have Chaluba, you have Fofana. Fofana would have been better, but he's never fit.
It's never fit, does it?
He's never fit. So those four players, they're all average players. We are point any of those 4 players who are called, point anyone where say okay, this one a standard defender. Even Chaluba just dey do gragra. No be say the guy dey spectacular like that. So it all goes down to the board. When they supposed to strengthen their defense line, they put money for Garnacho, they buy Gittins, they buy players wey we no need.
Yeah,
see Garnacho na waste of money.
They use you for this.
They just carry Garnacho, go give am, go throw am for one orphanage. They teach them how to become footballers. We did that was the first time.
Garnacho don't hear from Chukwuemeka. You don't hear from Chukwuemeka. I mean, you can't just press on it enough concerning how Chelsea has been performing And lately, when it comes to their inconsistent, way of doing things on the field of play, and even the defense line as well, they've not been reliable. They've
Exactly.
not been reliable. And this January, I mean, Chukwemeka also said it that Chelsea should have what was it, going to the transfer market and get players, especially Gay, who was on a platter. When
Exactly.
before Manchester City was laid their hands on him. And moving away from that, hopefully Chelsea can what's going to do the needful in the next game. Of course, they have the FA Cup game coming up against Hull City. That one should be a walk in the park for Chelsea. Talking about that particular encounter. Chukwemeka, talking about Manchester United, the game between them and West Ham United. West Ham, uh, what was it called? Got a point against them, and they didn't allow Manchester United to go on with their winning streak. They had to stop them just to make sure that was it called, they keep their Premier League stay alive. So you understand that particular game. Of course, they went ahead, courtesy of that goal from Sutek, before Benjamin Sesko later on in the match, got an equalizer for Manchester United, which makes the game ended 1-1 in a disappointing one for West Ham United because they thought they were going on with the maximum 3 points before Sesko, spoiled the day for them. Talking about that game, West Ham making was stopping Manchester United from winning their fifth game on a row. What can you say about that?
We all know say West Ham sef dey fight for top four. We all know say I'm sorry, dey fight relegation battle.
Mhm.
I don dey put West Ham for top four. We all know say West Ham sef dey fight relegation battle. So definitely I expected a game like that. But me, I just feel say Carrick go continue with the winning streak. Yes, say I at least I watched the game against Tottenham. Was it not Tottenham? You guys won 2-0. Brilliant performance. You could see the teamwork. The way the boys move the ball from Fernandez down to Cunha, Mbuemo, Diallo, exciting players. So I felt they would continue their winning streak. At least I feel say at least they will come out victorious. But we should know that these guys they are human beings. The tired leg, fatigue
Yeah,
sets in.
yeah.
But notwithstanding West Ham self no be small team. If not be say they just get old players, they recruit old players. Them too they be big team for England. So I expected a game like this. I know say West Ham will come out fight, come out fighting. Chelsea also struggled, to win against West Ham.
Mhm.
You know how we take suffer, how we take struggle. They don't even win us 2-0, without comeback. And themselves they fight relegation battle. They don't want to go that relegation. It would be a shame, if a team like West Ham will go down to relegation. So I expected a game like that. Kudos to Manchester. At least, they don't give up. They still come out that 9 minutes. Sheshko still come out getting that brilliant header. So brilliant game. And still average result for Carrick. Since the man take over that job, he never lose any game. And first drop he did. Out of 5 games. So kudos to Carrick. As still as they praise the man. The man they do better job for Manchester.
All right, Nigeria kudos to Carrick say see they do well. At least they were able to get the point against West Ham. Team will be see they defy relegation.
I
They
swear.
very desperate to get
Ah,
they call am point. So you don't hear from him. And of course, what did we talk about guy wey they know? I mean, a very disappointing one for that guy. We they look
we no
forward to
bad
say
here.
we they look for say making bad here. So what
That one just dey use that one dey catch it, dey make content.
I dey
And
hear say
guys
the
say
guy they
we
make money.
we even blast am.
I say they make money seriously.
Because that guy coming out, that thing come dey trend well well. Come the pressure come dey on man, you say omo, man you guys win o, make this guy pack
Probably I think
him.
na because of the guy they want come they play the game
No,
for
make the
now.
guy no worry. I know say man you go still do that 5 winning streak. I know say they go
Hmm.
still do am if they continue their brilliant performance. I was surprised against Tottenham. See the way man, even against Arsenal, against Man City, the way they knock ball, they can't get card, they can't they do this tiki taka. They play ball, carry ball. More use carry ball. Because wetin Amory no fit do. Wetin a manager like Amory, a well experienced manager like Amory no fit do. Now carry don't come on you now. They do they package in team, they give them that belief. So kudos to them. Right now, I think even place Man U ahead of Chelsea because
Hmm.
if we even want rate all departments, their defense line, Man U defense line, Chelsea defense line no reach Man U defense line. They are midfielders, brilliant midfielders, Casemiro and Fernandez. You know, you know, Fernandez better pass Enzo now. You know, if you even rate two of them, they are attackers. You know, I go still prefer Cunha to Joao Pedro. Their wingers, how much? Which wingers Chelsea get? Estava wey just dey try. So na brilliant team. Na just that management they no need, and they don finally get
So
am.
so you see things say na carry is supposed to dey
Omo na him o. The
see
guy
collect
don dey
job.
do well now.
Make dem appoint am permanently like you see. You see things so.
Make they appoint am now. Omo, if top managers like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Van Gaal, Van Gaal, Jose
Yeah.
Mourinho, even Amorim no fit do that winning streak. They carry Man U, they give una joy. The joy wey una dey get now, previous managers never give una that kind joy. Omo, make the guy dey continue him, and I sure say una next game him go still win. He go still win. I talked about tired leg and fatigue, coming in, setting in. You play team like Arsenal, Man City, Tottenham, you go tire now. You know, see that kind of game now, walking, workout, you know. So, more just still leave Carrick. Me carry them. Me season finish. More see where Man you finish. But I know say that top four, Man you go make top four. I'm sure of that. I'm
All right.
100% sure about that one. Whether na Chelsea or Liverpool, na him get that fourth place battle.
All right. Don't hear from Drew Maker. In the very 100% certain say Manchester United will make the top four with the way that they play under Michael Carrick at the moment. How long can can the coach continue to take the guys to what's it called to the promised line? We wait to see as they continue what's it called to get get themselves on in the English Premier League. Of course, away from that now, let's talk about the title race. Of course, it's between two clubs here in the English Premier League. It's a two horse race. Talking about the English Premier League between Arsenal and Manchester City. Of course, Manchester City got better of form there at Etihad Stadium. It was a comfortable 3-0 for Pep Guardiola's side. And of course, I think we saw that game together, and we saw Manchester City keeping the heat on Arsenal, the Gunners. What can you say about this?
Brilliant performance from Manchester City. It all boils down to Arsenal. Arsenal were in a comfortable position. You and I know say e get some points where Man City drop, where Arsenal supposed to capitalize on now. I don't know wetin they do at Teta, but it shows you how intense and interesting the Premier League is. Going down to, I know say this league, the fight go continue till the league go end. So may Arsenal fans just make they work on their heart because too much heartbreaks go dey. So I know
say you don't dey change your mind. You know already talk say too much heartbreak go dey.
e go
You
dey
don dey feel say
Arsenal go still win the league. But
make
Arsenal
comot for
fans
their
get
back.
their mind, make they just dey
Say anything fit sup.
shey you get which pills dey work for heart disease.
Yeah, I no know. Make you ask.
Heart disease. Make Arsenal fans no go get
Na Arsenal players dey always dey Arsenal fans na dem dey under na dem don chop apart.
Their mouth dey too dey run their
And then you
mouth.
go see ask say which pills they use. They don anxiety don dey set in.
Exactly. Teams situation wey as Man City lose drop points. Where Arsenal suppose capitalize on, Arsenal sef go dey draw. It shows you how resilient, how I go, which word I go use, how determined that
How focused, maximum focus is there.
how that Man City team dey. Some are rich. They know say they know some players they misbehave for some certain position. They strengthen their team. Bring in Semenyo and Maguire.
I mean, we've been seeing their performance.
Brilliant performance. See how Maguire, see how Gay they play for their defense.
It's been incredible for the team.
Coordinate that back. Where Diaz don dey lack, they cover Diaz up. That shows you how Guardiola dey reason. Say omo, this title league we go fight for am. We go see, we get the players. Obviously, they get brilliant sport. If one player no dey do it, they get replacement, they get backup. So it's gonna be a interesting encounter. Brilliant performance from both teams. I hope to see. We don dey hope say we go that eagerness. That eagerness. We don dey feel say omo, which team go come out victorious. But me, I see the bank on Arsenal. Me Arsenal just at least they don't too suffer now. If they just come out victorious, at least the last time they win Premier League now 2004.
Yeah,
that's like that's almost 15 years, more than 15 years. So let the best come out victorious. Now serious team now go win Premier League. Now this season we go use no. So
okay, talking about Arsenal now, you're still banking on them to win the league. After several years of them not winning the league. What do you think they should do right? In the remaining game of the season. I mean, I think we have like 13 to 12 games before the season ends. Do you understand? So, what do you think in the remaining games of the season? What do you think they should do right? Because Manchester City is really bracing on their neck seriously. Game in, game out. You understand? So, what do you think they should do right?
I
What do they
think
should do?
it has been working for Arteta. His formation has been working. His tactics has been working. They should just stick to their tactics. I want to see everyone serious. To prevent not making those silly back passes. I think if all hands are on deck, I believe there's nothing they won't
Put in the
achieve.
effort. They should not lose
Putting all the
focus.
effort. The whole players. I'm not so convinced about their top nine. Gyökeres it hasn't been brilliant. Even Kai Havertz talking now. Jesus, they even carry them of recent.
About is even injured again. He just came back and he's
You
injured.
get
Merino
so.
is also out.
I think if all of them are fit, if everyone is fit and they show that seriousness, definitely they will come out victorious. I know they've not played some important games. They've not played
Unless you have to
Chelsea.
play Manchester City, you have
They've
to
not
play
played. Yeah,
Chelsea. I
exactly.
think they'll be playing Tottenham Hotspur next in the in, in the league.
That should be an
To
easy
work in
one
the
for
park,
them.
Abby. You
Should be an
think
easy one
because
for
of
them.
Tottenham present form?
And Tottenham, they sacked their manager. They
Still
sacked
coming to that though.
Thomas. So we don't know who would handle the team. The new manager, if you want bring they do strong get, and I feel like say that they play for the White Hart League. So, but I expect Arsenal to go out there victorious, and but it boils down to Arteta. Just give your players that belief, that confidence, and I expect them to come out victorious. So that's it.
All right, the Red Republic are still sticking to the Gunners Arsenal to win the English Premier League for the first time after a lot of time away, not lifting the trophy. Of course, away from that now, talking about sacking of coaches. Wow. I mean, it's been an incredible season. Shouldn't be talking about sacking of coaches. I mean, we not can't be anything anymore. Before, they really they often like that. But now, like in the interval, the interval before they were the sack coaches the day before. But now,
Yes, yes.
they tell anymore. Look at. I mean, Nottingham Forest, sacked their coach, and that is in person of Sendite. After drawing against Southampton Wanderers, they are 17th on the log, and also Thomas Frank, former Brentford coach, who has just been relieved of his job there in Tottenham Hotspur, has also been sacked because of relegation battle. What do you make of these two situations?
It shows you how serious the whole teams in Premier League are. Not is not okay. If we're going to check when Maresca was sacked, when Amorim was sacked, Maresca own even day, I think it was a mutual
I
agreement
think it was a
between
mutual
both
agreement.
parties. But it shows you how intense the Premier League is. If you know they do your job well, another person dey out there wey go fit tidy the job well. When una pursue Amorim, Carrick, a manager like Carrick wey we no even feel say go fit handle Man U,
We least
but he has been
expected.
showing that zeal, that seriousness. I talked about it the last time. He was there. He was there when Ronaldo was there. I think
Yeah,
when you
Seconda,
guys,
is it under
when you
Ole?
guys, when Ole was sacked, I think
No,
Carrick took over the team.
yes.
So it shows you the seriousness of the team. Tottenham has not been doing well. Tottenham day 16 on the log. You wouldn't want to leave a manager like that. If I was the owner, if I was, the sporting director of Tottenham Hotspur, I would also do the same. Frank has been so poor. I don't even believe say Frank go fit, they give performance like this based on when he did Brentford. You see how the man they tackle all the big boys. But I expect I know they surprised say they pursue him. They asked him. I know he was asked about his job in Tottenham. He was like he has spoken to the board, but when you're not getting results, I know he did well in the Champions League. He qualified them to the round 16, but you're not doing well. You don't expect the owners, to still leave you there. Just they like incompetent person wey dey work under me. Me, I be manager, I be the owner of one organization. My workers no come dey deliver. Me, I go pursue una comot o. I go bring in new people wey go get the right,
Bring
the job
results.
wey get, wey go get the job done. So it shows you how intense the Premier League is. Brentford sef,
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest. Now where they got it all wrong, when the season started. Sacking Nuno
No
was a
experience.
very big mistake. I believe they should have left that man. The man was even doing well. I think the whole thing started from last season when their owner dey feel say they gats qualify for top four. So I believe that no sacking na just internal
I think
issue.
Emmanuel Marinakis, the owner of Nottingham Forest,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had an issue. I think he had an
Yeah, he had
internal
an
issue
issue.
with
Yeah, like
respect
because
to.
I think
So
his expectation was high last season. He expected them to qualify for the Champions League or the Europa. As you dey mount your tactics, other managers, other assistant
they're also
managers,
thinking about they're going to
they
get
dey
better.
how to bring you down.
Mm.
How to bring you down. They go dey study you. They go dey okay. Now wey Chelsea and Man U dey do well, no dey surprise. Other managers dey back there dey study their
The
tactics.
tactics about
You and
we,
when you start losing, it brings down the morale of the team. So
absolutely no.
for Premier League, no sporting director dey there to dey pamper you. If you are not getting the result right, omo they go pursue you. They don dey inculcate Abramovich spirit. Everything wants to do well.
Abano they
So
send that time you
that
throw.
was just the spirit of the Premier League. So that's all I have to say.
Well, talking about sacking of coaches, it has now been a normal routine. Now for the various club side, when they see that the coaches are not getting the job done, things are not going the right way for them, they are always at the receiving end of things, and that's what we are experiencing there in the English Premier League and other leagues as well. On that note, we say big thank you for being on the show with us. We'll do this again another time. Until then, continue doing that sport you know how to do best and keep following us on our social media platforms on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on TikTok. Particularly on YouTube, continue to subscribe and continue to follow us. And we'll continue to give you all the latest, all the interesting stuff in the beautiful world of football and sport in general. Until we come your way again, continue doing that sport you know how to do best. For me, Chukwemeka, I will say bye for now.